Hey everybody, how are you? I am Ali, the Motivation Mama. I'm just checking to see that I'm going live in the places where I need to be going live. Welcome to Monday Magic Weekly Webinar. This is something new that I have started in my business, and what these webinars on Monday are just all about is helping to set you up in a really positive way for the week ahead. And I'm really excited to be here with you today. This is our second one. And I have to say a special live welcome to my Instagram people. Now, don't say that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I mean, it might not be perfect in any way, but guess what? I am going live on Instagram for the very first time today. So hello and welcome to my beautiful Instagram people. I promise you this will get better as I go along. Just got to close something down there. So today's topic is all about valuing ourselves above all else without feeling selfish. Really, really interesting topic. Or another way to put this is self-care versus selfishness. And for me, in particular, this is something that I have had to work on, and I constantly have to work on. It's something that's in my thought pattern every day because of my history, which I'll get into a little bit later for those of you who don't know. But I want to share some quotes that I looked up online when I was digging into this topic a little bit, and they come from kellyrutter.com. So the first one is about being selfish, right? And what it says is being selfish is choosing to consistently and only think of your own needs. Wow. And your own wants. Selfishness never yields joy, peace, or love. It creates an internal and external experience of isolation and loneliness. And this is selfishness. Wow. So selfishness does not create the ability to share, nurture, or serve. So that's selfishness. And then it goes on to talk about self-care, and this is the big difference. So self-care is choosing to honor your inner wants and needs in order to fulfill your potential, discover your purpose, and experience joy. So sometimes that actually requires you putting yourself ahead of someone else. Self-care allows for more sharing and nurturing because there's plenty to give without being depleted or exhausted. That's really important too. Self-care allows you to serve others well because you have acknowledged your own worth and cultivated ways to feel and fulfill and refill your well. So those descriptions are again from kellyrutter.com. So I thought they were really good, a good way to start with our discussion this morning and what I really want to talk about. And, I see a lot, and, this is a natural thing actually, that, and it said it just above, but as women who I predominantly work with women, so I am going to talk about mostly women today. We are natural nurturers. It becomes natural. This is what our bodies are designed to do. Okay, so we're designed to nurture other people. But this means that more often than not, what we do when we're nurturing other people is that we are inadvertently putting ourselves last. Okay, and I don't think that it's something that we mean to do. I just think it's our nurturer coming out of us because we want to look after other people. We enjoy it. We want to do it. Mostly we enjoy it. But we in our lives as women, we're daughters looking after mothers. My mum, when she was a young girl, she used to look after her own mother because her mum, my grandma, was quite sick. From memory, I think she used to, I don't know the details, but I know she used to faint a lot, so my mum used to look after her mum and her siblings a lot. We're sisters, we're sisters looking after siblings. I have a brother who was born when I was 13 years old. So, you know, and as I was just coming into that phase in my life, my hormones were changing, and I was, you know, I was really coming into my sense as a nurturer. Having a baby brother at 13 years old, I cared for him a lot. You know, I babysat him a lot when mum and dad were both working full time and I was looking after my brother. But, you know, inadvertently, what happened then was I ended up putting my studies last. So not that I was a very academic person, but looking after my baby brother, which if you're watching, please don't think that I hold any grudges, because I don't. It was a pleasure. But, you know, in doing that, my natural nurturer, inadvertently, my studies suffered, and that's okay. You know, we are, of course, we're girlfriends, we're wives, we're partners, whatever. We're mums with children, women. You know, we're cousins, we're aunts, we're friends. That's a big one, and that's probably a whole topic for another day as well. You know, we're chefs, housekeepers, full or part-time professionals. We're taxi drivers, we're teachers. You know, all the other things that if you're a mum that come along with being a mum. I could go on in all the things and all the titles that as mums and as women that we have, and, you know, that we give ourselves, if you like. And for me personally, as a survivor of domestic violence, self-care and nurturing and valuing myself is something that I have constantly had to remind myself of. Because in a previous life, you know, I was taught to believe that by doing anything for myself was selfish. This is just what I was taught to believe. And, you know, although it's quite an archaic point of view, you know, in my marriages, I was expected to, above anything else, I was expected to be a wife, be a mother, be a housekeeper first, be all those things first. And then, if I had the time, or if I had done a good enough job, which in those scenarios was very rarely, I was allowed to do something for myself, like rest. Now, is rest, you know, is it selfish? No, actually, that's necessary. Rest is necessary to value yourself. It's not selfish. Rest is general self-care. It's not selfish in any way, you know. And here's the interesting thing. This particular belief, being valued, had been ingrained so much in me in my past relationships that when I came into my current relationship with my beautiful partner Craig, and, you know, when we started living together 6 years ago, we put a system in place. And this is just one example. So an example is that I cook during the week. I cook dinner during the week because I work from home, he works in town, and it's easy to do that. I don't enjoy cooking. I do it because we have to eat, we have to live. But it's a system that we've put in place. But on the weekends, Craig cooks because he loves it. He gets pleasure from it, right? And and can I say too, he's bloody amazing at it. He's a very good cook. Hi Kaz, hi Bailma, how are you beautiful ladies? Lovely to have you joining us on Instagram. Yay! That proves my Insta's working. So yeah, so when we got to, you know, when we put this in place and Craig actually started cooking for me on the weekends, or cooking for us, more to the point, I found this really, really difficult to accept, so difficult to accept, you know, that he was doing something for me. And was he doing it for me? Yeah, partly he was, but as well he's also doing it for himself because it's something that he enjoys to do. But he used to say to me, and he still does all the time, he says, you just go and relax. And I find that hard because I think what it is because he's busy doing something, and because I'm not busy at the same time, the way I have kind of, you know, been ingrained to believe that it feels lazy. Now, is it lazy? No, of course not. As I said, you know, I'm valuing him by allowing him to do something that he likes. He's valuing me because he's letting, you know, he's saying, just go and relax, just do something that you want to do. So it's something that, you know, still to this day, 6 years after we have moved in together, I struggle with it, you know, and even last night I struggle with it. There is a difference though, and something that I have noticed, and something that I personally have to work on. You know, maybe I said I struggle with it, but on other days I don't struggle with it, and I feel lazy because when he's cooking the dinner, like he multitasks. So he will, for instance, go put the bins out, or, you know, he'll do the rubbish, or he'll do the dishes or something. And this is a question that I've been asking myself, you know, is it selfish? Or is it valuing him for him to be multitasking like that, you know, when I could be getting up and helping him and doing the dishes while he's cooking dinner? I don't know. Whatever. Let me know your comments. I'm curious. But, you know, this is, you know, when I say that I see a lot of women, and I work with so many people who are busy doing all the things, you know, doing all the things and for everybody else and putting themselves last. This is actually the reason I started my group, Women Rising Above. It's my Facebook group. Because I wanted to bring everybody's focus back into looking after and valuing ourselves as women first, so we could then go out and value all the other people in our lives. So, you know, in this group we have, you know, there's a lot of motivation mama. There's a lot of support that happens within the group, and it is such an encouraging group. I love watching all the encouraging comments that people give each other. It's incredible. So if you would like to come, if you're not already a member of Women Rising Above and you'd like to join, if you're watching on Facebook, I've put the link in the description of this live. If you're watching on Instagram, feel free to head over and search for Women Rising Above. It'd be lovely to have you come and join us. It would be incredible. So, as I mentioned before, we need to learn that it is okay. Right? It is okay, and it's actually quite necessary that we put ourselves first, that we put ourselves first, and that we actively, as women and as people, value ourselves, right? And things that I have, you know, that I've seen happen, particularly in the 21st century, I see that this is, you know, it's becoming easier to do because people's outlooks are changing on the world, right? But we can still, and while I don't want this to be a gender war, that is not what I'm here to do, this is not what I'm here to talk about, but we can still look around and see that there is still, unfortunately, quite a lot of gender inequality happening out there, okay? But there is also a lot being done to change that. So, you know, for example, we will see people who have, you know, we'll see men staying at home to be stay-at-home dads while mums go off and work full time. You know, we'll see, like I said with Craig, you know, men doing a lot of the cooking at home. And these are all very, very generic things I'm talking about today. There are so many bigger examples. If you've got bigger examples and you're watching this, or if you're watching the replay, put #replay in. And I'd love to hear your comments on what you're thinking of this situation. But, you know, I have a friend who is an amazing cook. He is such a good cook, and he is the main cook in their household. He cooks the majority of their meals, and this is where I'm saying that it's changing in household. It's no longer expected in a lot of households that the women, you know, are doing all the cooking again, and it's a very, very generic scenario. I'm well aware of that, right? But, you know, I want to talk about, you know, how can we, this is the topic, the general topic of today, is how can we value ourselves without feeling selfish, right? And I think when I was thinking about this, the most poignant thing to remember here is that we can't please everybody. And guess what? We don't have to please everybody. There's nothing out there to say that what we do has to please everybody in life, because the fact is we're not going to. You know, whatever we do in life is possibly going to upset someone, and that's okay. Just let it go. I feel like singing the song here, but we need to let that go. Once we realize that we can't please everybody, it kind of allows us, you know, to relax and go, oh, thank you for, you know, thank you for the realization in that. And as you know, and a lot of the women I work with too, including I work with myself, but including myself, you know, we're natural people pleasers. You know, I want to please. I just want to naturally please everybody. I mean, I had a scenario last week where, you know, I wanted to share something, but I knew that it might offend people if I shared it at that particular time. But it kind of got to the point where I was like, no, actually, I want to share this. You know, it's something that why shouldn't I share it type thing. And I kind of had to even talk myself into, you know, why are you being such a people pleaser, Ali? You know, is it really going to upset people? Because that wasn't what I want to do. But but the question that I had to put to myself is sharing this news going to offend people? Probably not. And I don't think it did. So yeah, we can't please everybody, and we don't have to. And once you realize that, it's actually quite freeing, quite cathartic to realize that. So we need to, what I see is we need to find that sweet spot between being vain and valuing ourselves, right? And it can be a fine line, or the sweet spot between laziness and relaxation. All right, is it a fine line? I don't know. Maybe it isn't such a fine line. Love to hear your opinions. You know, and let's give an example. Right? So, you know, if we want to have a nana nap every now and then, an afternoon nap, I call them nana naps. If we want to have a nana nap every afternoon when our body is telling us that we need to, you know, it's great. This is a great thing to do, you know. And even and if we manage to get an afternoon to ourselves so we can have a nana nap, that's great, isn't it? Awesome. But if we were to say do this every day and let it affect our everyday lives in a negative way, you know, so for instance, to go home from our jobs and have a nana nap every day, or, you know, to be sleeping and not be present for our children, you know, this would be considered selfish. And then there's pampering ourselves, right? Things like, and again, this is very generic, and if you can think of anything else, let me know. You know, massage, pampering ourselves, having a massage, going to a day spa, getting a hair done, going out to dinner with friends, you know, doing a face mask. Oh my goodness, I did a live on Facebook. It was probably about 6 months ago now. It's a hilarious live of me doing one of those face masks out of the packet for the first time. Seriously, if you can find it, go and watch it. It's bloody hilarious. It was, anyway, I'm getting off topic. But you know, these are things that they're pampering ourselves, but you know, but it's not being selfish. It's valuing ourselves. You know, it's valuing time valuable time, having valuable time with those we love if we're going out to dinner. But it's also valuing ourselves, and spoiling ourselves isn't a bad thing, right? But again, but if we would go for a 3-hour-long lunch, for some pamper time, if we were to go for a 3-hour-long lunch and have a massage, and therefore this 3-hour lunch would of course affect our work, our day job, of course that's selfish. It's going to affect our work output. It's going to affect what people's opinion of us. So that is being selfish. So there's, in my opinion, there's the line. And those are all pampers. Those are the way to, sounds like a nappy, but those are the ways that we pamper ourselves. But there are other ways that we can value ourselves as well. So, buy yourself some flowers. I did this literally last week. I was out shopping with my daughter and she said, oh, those are nice flowers. And I looked at them and I thought, oh my God, they're so pretty. And I thought, why not spoil myself and value myself and buy some flowers? Unfortunately, they didn't last very long because it's hot here in South Australia and they died very quickly. But never mind, they were beautiful flowers while they last. You could do some craft. You could have a sleep in. Is that pampering, or is that just looking after yourself? Could be both. Who knows? Like I said, you could go out to dinner with your partner, etc. And these are maybe special things that we can do. But there are other things every day, things that are necessary to value our minds and our bodies and our souls. Eat well. These are all the general things, the common sense things almost, if you like. Eat well, exercise, practice good hygiene, something very important in this day and age. Get enough sleep. If you're into meditating, which I am, do regular meditations. That's good for the spirit. Pray. If depending what your belief is, pray. These are all generic things that we need to do to look after our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. And another topic which I can get into, these all work, our body, mind, and spirit, they all work together as a whole. So we need to value all of those aspects to be able to value ourselves as a whole as well. Now, people, I could literally talk on this topic forever, but we don't have time today, unfortunately. These are short little webinars, but I'd love to hear your opinions, and share your comments. I can't see any coming through, I think, because I've got them turned off on Facebook. That's okay, but I'd love to read your opinions on this and share. And again, if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay in. On your thoughts on valuing yourself versus being selfish. So something that I consider is really important is to recognize the confidence in ourselves that we need to have to be able to do this. This is something that in the whole scenario of me surviving domestic violent relationships, was I've had to rediscover my confidence in myself, even to come on here and do these lives. But I want to share with you something that's coming up for me in about a week and a half. Is I have a half-day workshop coming up that's called Awaken Your Confidence. So this is all about learning to trust yourself again. It's all about learning to put yourself first. It's kind of almost following on from the topic of what we've been talking on today. And I'm going to be giving you some tools and some actionable tips on what you can do to awaken your confidence. So this is a half-day workshop. It goes for about 3 hours, and it's next Saturday, the 6th of February at 10 a.m. Adelaide time, so ACDT. And we would love to have you there if you'd like to join us. So if you would like to join us at their half-day workshop, Awaken Your Confidence, feel free to just let me know in the comments below. put half-day workshop ticket please or something in the comments below to let me know that you would like to come, and we will make sure that we get the link to you and we'll organise your ticket. So it's online, by the way. So yes, I'm based in Adelaide, but this is an online half-day workshop, and we've had a lot of people attend these workshops and just get so much out of them, and that as well. But I absolutely love doing these workshops. So there we go. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. I very, very much appreciate you joining me for Monday Magic webinars, and thank you to everyone watching on Instagram for the first time ever. Woohoo! I managed to do it live. I'm so proud of myself, not gonna lie. And we will see you again next Monday at the same time. So 9 a.m. Adelaide time is when we're doing these Monday Magic webinars. It's been an absolute pleasure this morning, and have a great, great week ahead. Happy Australia Day for tomorrow. If you are living in Australia, enjoy, you know, the public holiday and enjoy your day off. I hope it's sunny and brilliant weather wherever you are. All right, everybody. Thanks again. We'll see you next week. Bye. Mwah.